Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Celestial Trine. This is our second episode, and we're really stoked, happy to have you joining us for this episode. So, before we go any further, would you like to introduce ourselves, please?
Hello, everybody. I am Izabella from Tarot by Izabella.
Hey everyone, I'm Meten from Plutonic Planes.
And I'm Gary from Alternative Interactions. So, you join us again, where what we're going to be doing is Meten is going to be looking at his charts via human design and astrological charts, where he feels that there's certain dates coming up in the very near future that could have some significance to what is going on in the world around us. And the amazing Izabella will then be looking at her pendulum, not the pendulum,
I can take out the pendulum too. What?
but the crystal ball and some cards on these dates to see what Isabella sees, and then we'll have a little discussion about that, and then we'll move on to the next date. Now, I know that there's two date ranges that have been selected by Meten for this particular show, and so without further ado, would you please like to introduce the date, Meten, and what you see astrology wise?
All right, so I'm going to pull up the chart first. Okay, so this is the chart for January 26th. I just have to okay the recording. Okay. And this is for the 25th. I apologize. So what we're looking at first, what I decided to bring up was the dates for January 20th to the 26th. Now I can only show one chart. I don't want to show a chart for every day, obviously. But there's a buildup during this period. And what it is there's a stellium of planets forming in the sign of Aquarius. And right now, Pluto is posted at the beginning of Aquarius, almost like a sentry, like a guard, in front of a gateway. And so it's ushering in all the planets through this gateway into the underworld. And the sun every year at this time for the last couple years, because Pluto is stationed in Aquarius and it's the slowest moving planet, it's going to be there for the next 25 years. But currently, because it's at the beginning of Aquarius, just like last year, around the 20th to the 25th is when the sun and Pluto come together in what's called a cazimi. And that's when Pluto burns in the heart of the sun. And Pluto is like the black sun, so it's like burning in the heart of the sun. And that's when, for that moment, it's very similar to an eclipse. It's like for that moment, we're all subjected to being in the underworld all of a sudden. And so it's a period of a hidden space that's created. And in that hidden space, there's agendas that are formed. And last year around this time, there was a sudden release of executive orders, and they were very shocking to the public. And these were issued forth from the American president at the time, who had just been inaugurated a couple days prior. And these sudden implementations were very shocking to everyone and, caused the requisite, panic and reactiveness, right? To feed on our energies as usually is the case, right? So it was the most intense expression of these new kind of orders and these new agendas. And it will be no different this year. There will be sudden, like very shocking orders being communicated forth during this time between January 20th and January 26th. And with all the planets passing through Aquarius and this area next to Pluto, this is going to be most likely, to my perspective as an astrologer, it's going to be very disturbing. And the light side of this will be when we get to April. So the dark side of this is this period here. And I'll describe a little the chart and then we'll go to Isabella's brilliance. Okay. So in this chart here, you guys can see that all the planets, and I did it for San Francisco at a certain time. Now you could see that all the planets are gathered in Aquarius and in Pisces. And the moon has just, in this period, it was here with Pluto and the sun prior, because it was a new moon around, it's going to be a new moon around January 17th, 18th. So this is after the new moon. And with the North Node destiny in Pisces and the Aries vortex still in Pisces right now, all the planets are moving here in this chart together, and all the other planets are moving in Aquarius. And so Pluto is destroying creatively anything that's not authentic. So anything that's not authentic that's going to be sent down to us is going to be hidden with so in other words, whatever orders are set forth, the dark side of it might be hidden. It might be not clear exactly what those agendas are attempting to do. That will become clear later as the public kind of starts to see behind the veil. And that'll happen more in April in the second chart, and I'll get to that. But during this period here, you could see Pluto's in conjunction with Mars, which can mean violence, extremely destructive violence. And those will both Kazemi the sun. So they will gain power in the center of the sun as they go through that conjunction. So this is a very volatile period as I see it. And there will be both external and internal effects. So we will all be feeling this. There'll be geopolitical effects as well. And I'll leave it at that. And then I'll take this off and we can go to Izabella.
Yep. So now I'm going to concentrate on January 20th to 26th.
Yes.
In the crystal ball, I saw a lot of darkness. It's like it has gone to sleep. It's sleeping. I don't see any life in it. It doesn't mean that things are going to die, but it's like it's turned off. So something is gonna be turned off completely or go dark. The first feeling I got, it could be power outages on many different places. It's gonna go dark. And of course, people are gonna get very scared when suddenly there is no electricity, everything gets dark, no lights on the streets. I hear the voice. The revolution has begun. Rather, the revolutions, pluralis, have begun. So some spark of revolution spirit gonna begin, and it's gonna spread like a wildfire from country to country to country to country. And it will be unstoppable when it starts. We have already seen that begin, for example, in Iran, when the people are throwing away the Islamic Republic's, minions, and they want to be free. Some kind of revolutionary spirit. And of course, that could cause a lot of fear and insecurity in people, because we don't know if this is gonna go out of hand or if it's at the end gonna be controlled and beneficial for everybody. Yeah, I have to say it. It's regarding the little country that begins with an I, an S, R. Yeah, a little country in the Middle East will be very much up in the headlines, and a lot of revelations, a lot of secrets that will begin to come up to the surface regarding that little country. And I feel cold, very cold. Everything is cold. Well, it's winter time, but it could be there will be some very cold Arctic winds or temperatures coming down over Europe or over places where there normally is not so cold in this time of the year. But cold. I'm gonna take some cards on this. The important thing is not to get scared, not to fall into fear. Yeah. What fell out is 9 of Swords, because there will be a lot of fear-mongering. There will be a lot of in the news. Oh, this is the end of the days. We are doomed. We are going down, and just to make people lose their minds in fear. And we have to keep ourselves calm and keep our heads cold, so we don't fall into their traps. And I also see like cashier, where you go to a shop and when they had in the old days, and ding, and the coins fell out. And I see this open up, and in that little drawer, there are very little coins, almost no coins at all. So it could be some financial big crisis that is coming up, or something that has to do with finances, or the lack of money, or the money is gone. I'm gonna take some cards on this. January 20th to 26th. Let's see what it says. Yeah, it will be some strange things happening. In the tarot cards, we had the Hermite, Nine of Swords again, and Seven of Coins. So some problems or some information that will leak out regarding finances, regarding money. On the Oracle cards, we have Journey, we have Delay, and we have Clouds. On the dice, we have a book, Trunk and Science, and Moonlight, Cold Light. Again, I want to emphasize on that. Please don't get scared, because a lot of hidden information, they have delayed that information long time regarding the lack of money in the money vaults. There is no money, and that will automatically put a lot of clouds in people's minds. They cannot see ahead that we have to get that information out so the people know what is really going on in the false bank system and the death economy that we have, and are not based on real assets. So some important information that will come up that will be very scary, and they have really delayed it for a long time, and it seems like it's gonna be quite clear. They cannot deny it anymore. And we have to get rid of the old system to begin to live in a new system, and the getting rid of could be a little bit painful before it's settled as it should have been from the beginning. Well, that was what I could see on January 20 to 26. It's the start of this. I'm not saying that all banks gonna crash, but it's the start. They cannot delay it anymore. The truth is coming out. What they try to hide, like the hermit, they try to hide it in the cave, but they cannot anymore. And of course, people gonna get mad. Where is my money?
Yeah, very interesting, Izabella. I mean, and again, it links in very much to what Meten was talking about, kind of the gateway into the underworld. And money is the underworld. It's the underbelly that supports everything that we see at the moment. And hidden agendas would be the fact that they've been hiding the fact that there is no money and there's no real money. And the vaults, the tills are empty, the vaults are empty.
Yep.
And it's all promised to pay. And it looks and it feels for me like with the money in the finance, the Nine of Swords coming out twice. I mean, the fear and the worry of the mental stress of this, and the fact that you got that electricity might be going down, and potentially that be the Wi-Fi, means that shops will not be able to accept electronic payment anymore, which would further compound the issues with our money and our finances that seems to be coming in. So I think this is quite a very, very, very interesting how the two have really married up very, very well for me, and what Meten saw and what you've seen, very clear. I mean, Meten, have you got anything further to say about this?
Yeah, thanks, Gary. I was looking at that too, those two Nine of Swords, because that's like the moment before the nervous system, goes out of control with the thoughts just taking over. And so, I mean, I want to remind people that to remember that we're all always taken care of, even though we may not know how. We have to remember that the bridges will open in our ability to connect with each other and support each other because I may lose something that I need, but who's to say my neighbor might not have it, and is willing to share it with me. So we have to remember those bridges that we've made, that this is also, it may be a lights out for a shock, disruption for our usual markers of safety, but that doesn't mean that other bridges of safety won't be opening up and connection and, for us. And so to remind everyone, just remember to remind your nervous system that we're always taken care of. We just may not know how,
Yeah.
in that moment or in the next moments, especially during emergencies. So yeah, that's like the energy that will be building towards the culmination, or one emotional cycle of culmination that'll occur on February 20th, around that time that we looked at last time. But this is the beginning of this perfection of the Aries vortex, this time right here. This is the seed of it. So as you said, Izabella, it's like it's going to start, everyone's going to see the crack and see between the cracks. It's going to burst, the dam's going to burst. And this is what it's going to start to look like. And by February 20th, we'll all be kind of clear, on what is occurring. And further April will even be, we'll be responding to that, with what we feel is correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for that.
Izabella, have you got any final words on these dates?
No, just don't be scared. As Meten said, we are gonna get help when we need it. So even if the vaults are empty, it doesn't mean that we will lack food, or it will be some other kind of procedure or whatever they have planned, because those who are behind it, they know that it's coming. And the good guys, they all will also be there to help us people come through this period.
Superbly said. Now, I know the next dates Meten's going to be taking us on to are April. This is a different date to our first show. In our first show, we looked at April the 26th specifically. But Meten has found some further dates in April that bear scrutiny without doubt. And all I can say from that, before we even see the charts and Izabella does anything, is it looks like we're going to have to buckle up in April. So, Meten, please, can you tell us the dates or extra dates in April that you see, and show us a chart, please?
All right, so this is the date of the roller coaster ride. The dates April 10th to April 17th, 18th. And this is during the time of Aries. So the sun and all the personal planets will be this time ushering through the gateway of this particular stellium of Aries. This time it will be the Aries vortex. So it'll be Saturn and Neptune kind of standing as sentrymen to this particular energy. And they're kind of opposites. Saturn's kind of the reality check, and Neptune's kind of the vision, the expanding vision, where we kind of create reality from. And this period is like the induction of February 16th into the year of the fire horse. This is a fiery period because this is Aries energy. So this is where the world is set afire. But who's setting it afire? We'll see right now as we look in the chart. Okay, so I did this one for April 17th. And again, it'll be the whole period of April 10th to the 17th, and a further build once Uranus goes into Gemini on April 26th, as we noted in the last video, the last celestial trine. But you can see here, this is right around the new moon. And so you see the moon is almost 27 degrees. Here you have the sun at 27, and so the moon's about to hit that degree. And when it does, that'll be the significator for a new moon, a new beginning. Now, you could see here we have many planets in Aries. So this stellium is also Mercury. So our communication, our mind will be there. Mars is in Aries as well. Saturn is in Aries as part of the Aries vortex. Neptune, obviously, part of the Aries vortex. And also Chiron, the wounded healer, will be in Aries and is presently in Aries until mid-year when it'll go into Taurus. And this is really highly significant because it's like, if you can think of it, like an analogy for this might be, you have a wound, right? And you're trying to heal that wound. And someone takes a spoke of like acid or something and puts it on your wound. Like this is a moment in time which that wound will be triggered. And this is the wound of humanity, being allowing these deceptions for all these countless thousands of years, right? And this is another moment by which humanity is going to wake up and say, whoa, we're done with this. We're done. You went too far. This is what we're going to do now. So to me, this looks like a very revolutionary moment where humanity can kind of pull itself out of its slumber and take kind of the helm of the ship and redirect and re-guide it, because we know where the others have been taking us, the elites, to what direction they've been taking us in. So to me, this looks like a moment in time that will spark a fire, as Izabella was talking about. This is like a second fire that will be lit, a second flame that will be lit and start a whole other level of fires around the world. And I'm speaking metaphorically at this point, but it is before summertime, which is a whole another. So this time is very this is like an igniting of a flame, and this is a pain that we're all going to feel very deeply, but we'll respond to it justly. And I'll leave it at that for Izabella to add.
So April 10th to 17th,
Yes.
2026. First thing I got were earthquakes. Many earthquakes around that period. Smaller, bigger ones. And if we look at it in a symbolic way, an earthquake, you cannot stand stable when it's an earthquake. You're gonna sway. You will not be sure on which foot you should stand. Should I stand on left or right foot? You will be swaying. Everything is shaking. And it's like many will not know who to believe in or what to believe in. What they thought were stable foundations are going to crack like an earthquake. So there will be literal earthquake, but also symbolic earthquakes in people's minds. Everything is shaky. And I get a strong feeling. I've been talking a lot about politicians going to jail and so on. I think the real big arrests are coming during that period. Famous names that will go down. And a lot of people that will be feeling so lost. But I thought this guy was a good guy. And I thought, well, this woman was someone to rely on. No. It's like everything is turning upside down. Many scandals. So many scandals. Oh my God. We will not be able to keep up with it. And I see the EU flag burning.
Wow.
In time. It will not be sooner. But anyway, I see the EU flag burning. Because when you have lost everything, or you are about to lose everything you have worked for, for generations, you have nothing to lose if you go out to protest. What's it gonna take? They're gonna take it anyway, so at least I can do this final act and protest against the oppressors. If the evil side have their so-called armies or paid soldiers or doing the dirty work, stopping protesters or demonstrations, manifestations, and so on. It's like 2/3 of those paid military or mercenary. It's like I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to work today. So those that are oppressors, those that are trying to still oppress the people, they will find themselves without the handy guys to do their dirty work. Mm. And some big agreement between China, Russia, and the USA is coming up. Because I see them like a pyramid, and each one is representing one side of the pyramid. So they will have to be friends and work together. Some kind of agreement, official agreement, even though I think they have been working together behind closed doors for a long time, but some official announcement that now we are going to help each other to make this world a better place. Okay, let's take some card on this. April 10th to 17th. I hear a big explosion. So there could be a big explosion somewhere, a provocation of something in an important big city. So let's see what we have. Again, the same cards are coming up. Okay? In the tarot cards, we have the Hanged Man. We have 5 of coins. And Ace of coins. Again, something with finances. On the Oracle, again it came up, delay. Then we have a garden. And journey. On the dice, we have a fist in anger like this. And here we have ouch. Something is hurting. Looks and feet. The people are tired. The people are fed up. And as we saw in the month of January, that revolutionary spirit going to wake up, and people gonna get angry. No, we're gonna fight back. We don't want to be victims anymore for the system. Why? Because there is no money. They're gonna find out there is no money. And they have delayed that truth for a long time. And when there is no money, then it's ouch. It's hurting. We're gonna feel discomfort. And as I said, some kind of agreement to save the finances, a new journey in money. We're gonna walk some to new places. So there could be some talk about total change in financial systems to get rid of poverty somehow. I'm not saying that everything is going to be okay in April, but we're going that way. Or the talk about how to change it, or maybe total, debt forgiveness will be talked about around the planet. Every country, all the debts are gone. Everyone starts on zero. Could be something like that.
I know this is strange. Could you just do a very small reading on this? Are we going to have, you say everything's going to go to, currency wise, could go to, all the debts wiped out and we start again? If we're going to get this agreement between Russia, China, and America, which to me sounds the most likely form, does that mean that all the currencies around the world will have parity, will be the same value to start from a fresh position? Could you look?
Yeah.
Am I correct in that? This is what I'm getting from this. That this
could be something like that. Yeah, that they will begin to talk about it, how to do it, and not only country death, every personal death, because people cannot anymore. They cannot. People are homeless for a credit card debt with a interest of 50-60%. You can never get free from it. And why did they take it in the first place? To survive the month, to pay the bills. Queen of coins, yes. Some kind of stability about finances. So let's take some cards on your question regarding debt forgiveness. There is no other way to save the economy in the world. There is no. We have Two of Swords, Queen of Swords, King of Coins. So the kings and queens of the world will talk about it during that date. Some of them will not agree, but they have to, because we are living in the same house, the same planet. If we don't do it, everything is gonna go down. And will they come to a conclusion of a death forgiveness? They want to wait with it. They want to drag it out. Oh, no, not yet. But they will have to. There is a Knight of Coins, so there will be quick changes in the finances because there is no money. People have no money. They will be almost forced to do something like that. I'm not saying that the death forgiveness are coming in April, but we are heading for that direction. The thought, the discussions, the how to do it will be on the table. The countries cannot afford more homelessness because it's a human right to have a shelter, to have food, to have safety, to have health care. Not sick care, health care. And as last, I'm going to take 3 more. Will there be a death forgiveness somewhere in the future? Yes. Here we have Queen of Swords, Justice, Balance, and the Hierophant. So, all knowledge. This is nothing new. That forgiveness has been going on for many thousands of years to reset a country. But we have the justice. So it must be balanced out. It must be equal value. And put into law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I saw that the other day. It was something that came into me that there would be one kind of, not currency as such, but each individual currency would be worth exactly the same, would buy exactly the same. Every country would come to parity, and there'd be fairness across the board. That's what I was showing, and your cards have just, confirmed that. And again, to be very clear, everybody, this is in discussion stages, and it's the beginning of this process in April.
It doesn't have to happen, but they have to start somewhere.
Yeah. Meten, what are your thoughts, please?
No extra thoughts on that at this present time. I would have to investigate further into the Venus retrograde in October, and that will be for another video. But during October and November, there's a Venus retrograde. It happens every 2 years. And it's a kind of reset in how we reflect and how we reassess and how we do our finances and how the financial world works. So I'd have to look closer into that chart. So at another time, we can look at that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But again, in finances, everybody, nothing happens quickly. So the fact that this could be coming up onto the table in April does make sense. It could be October, November, December, in 2026, almost 8-9 months later, that we're going to see some kind of resolution to the beginning of what we're going to be seeing now coming up.
Because it's not maintainable as it is at the moment, and that's for every country. Who do we owe so much money to? Who? Every country owes trillions of dollars to someone. Who is that someone or something? Who have that amount of money to borrow to someone?
It's something I've been looking into, Izabella, and the only answer I can get, going all the way back into history, when this kind of started in England in 1693 and then 1694 when the Bank of England was started up, the people who are actually really owed the money are us. They're us.
It's a nice split.
And that's the only answer, the simplest answer, the only answer I can really come up to is they owe the money to us, but they've held the money from us to stop us getting that money.
Got
So
nothing
of
to-
course they want to delay it and delay it and delay it and delay it.
Yeah.
And the feed of delusion, when people get all, heartbroken and stressed out, and how to pay the bill, how to buy food, how to medicine, how to this and how to that.
Yeah.
I have to bend myself over so I don't lose my home. Put the fear of homelessness into people.
Yeah.
That's
And
why they don't want to get rid of homelessness, because having homeless people on the streets is a control mechanism. If you see homelessness, oh, I have to be quiet, I have to be obedient. If not, I'm going to end up like him or her or they.
yes, no, it is. It's part of their control mechanism. It's very interesting when I look at reviewing back on what Meten said about a fiery period. There was a wound that needed healing, and a shock on that wound of humanity. There would be a shock, you know, and it would be a waking of the slumber of people. And when we start looking at that in the stars and to what you've just read, it kind of really, again, marries up very, very closely, particularly the way the cards are coming out and what you're guided to be saying. You're being guided on the financial side of life on this particular period,
Yeah.
which would make a lot of sense. It's the beginning of the veil falling, and everybody's seen that the emperor really does have no clothes.
I'm going to take one card here as advice for everyone. What is the advice here for those two time periods? Here we have the 10 of Wands and Thief. So it will be quite difficult to hear the truth that so much has been stolen from us. That our difficulties in life, in our works, in our everyday living, is because of thieves. Not because we didn't work hard enough or earn enough or been, good enough. No, it's because the thieves. And it seems like the thieves are getting exposed. And knowing that it's really gonna hurt. Like Meten said, it's gonna be painful. It's gonna hurt. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Yeah, here we have discovery. We're gonna discover a lot of things. We're gonna discover who are the thieves. It's gonna be more and more clear. And the banks are doing everything they can to hush down that the vaults are empty.
They are. They are. In actual fact, Meten and I are going to be doing a show in a few days. We're going to record in a few days, and we're going to be looking at certain periods coming up in a financial way, purely financial, to see what we think is happening and what we're seeing currently within the financial system that's going to play out. So we will be doing that in a few days, and it'll probably be released, I don't know, probably in a week's time or so from this or so. Just so if you're interested in this and you want, Meten and I will be giving it a little bit more of a deeper dive on this because it's such an important period at the moment. So important.
And we have to remember everything is about money. Everything.
Yes.
the technology, where you live, if there is a war or peace, or happy times, sad times. Everything is about money. The politics is about everything. Everything is about money.
Yeah. One of the things I learned, and probably the only reason why I've been looking at money for so long, and I have been.
Mm.
The only reason is that every time I went down a rabbit hole, somebody was being paid to do that, and it was money. And you chase the money back to the same few banks, the same few bankers, the same few organizations. People get very bored of money because they make money boring. But when you actually open the curtain, you can see the window and you can see the light coming in. You can actually understand, yeah, money's boring. They make it too complicated. It's a control mechanism. But when you can see what it truly is about, then a lot of the fear of this world and this realm and the control that they do just falls away because you can see it for what it really is.
Yeah.
And money is also about an exchange of values. So Venus, as symbolic in astrology of finances, is also about our values, what and how we express our values. And that will all be reevaluated in October and November of the new year.
Well, it sounds like we have some really interesting future episodes to come up
Yeah.
because from privately chatting with Meten, we know that there's further dates coming up in the summer months that need looking at, and it looks like we have some autumn dates that Meten clearly needs to do a little bit more research on. That could really, really be very, very interesting. So that is interesting in itself. And we're starting to see a picture, a story playing out of what could be for the future, which is amazing.
Cool.
So I think that's a really good place to stop. Thank you very much, Izabella, for your amazing reading. And thank you, Meten, for the charts and explaining it so well for everybody. It's been a brilliant show. Thank you very much, everybody, for your likes, share, and subscribes, particularly to Meten. His channel is quite small at the moment, and he has a huge amount of information on human design and what could be coming for you personally. And he does these shows, twice a week or so. You do these shows, Meten? So,
Yeah, about twice a week. I do the sun transits.
so definitely worth checking out, everybody. So thank you very much for watching, and we will see you again very soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.